Hello and welcome to Season 4, Episode 6 of ARBinBRIEF, a practical video guide on handpicked arbitration issues. My name is Reshma Oogorah. I am an arbitrator and disputes lawyer based in the Middle East and a member of the organizing committee of ARBinBRIEF. Joining me today are two amazing arbitrators, Antonia Birt, arbitrator and partner at Reed Smith LLP, and Rozana AlTayyar, arbitrator and mediator at 𝗔𝗥𝗕𝗙. You will find a link to their LinkedIn profile in the chat. Now, today's topic is arbitration ready to embrace diversity and overcome bias? And Antonia and Rozana have kindly accepted the challenge of addressing this topic, the rather complex topic, in 15 minutes. Now, Antonia, if I could start with you. You are the co-chair of the Equal Representation in Arbitration Pledge for the MENA region, which is a notable initiative. The pledge has achieved over 6,000 individual and corporate signatories since its inception. Could you share some statistics and insights on how the pledge has supported more women appointments as arbitrators?
Absolutely. And thank you very much, Reshma, for having me on this. As you say, there are now more than 6,000 signatories to the Equal Representation in Arbitration Pledge. And that includes arbitral institutions, dozens of major corporate arbitration users, as well as states and state entities. And the numbers do speak for themselves, and they also show results. So what we've seen is a really significant change over the years of the pledge's operation. The pledge was originally launched around 2016, when I think the statistics were that women represented 10 to 12% of arbitral tribunal members across the major institutions that were even reporting those kind of statistics. Today, many of the institutions, including here in the Middle East, appoint around 50% women arbitrators, which of course is a fantastic development. Challenges do remain with respect to party appointments and appointments by co-arbitrators, and I'll address those in a moment. But the numbers are really very significant in a short period of time. And what I should also say is that what the pledge has done is that it's encouraged institutions to track and report gender diversity more widely and across a more criteria. And now all of the big institutions and regional institutions report gender statistics, which really helps with the progress and visibility and transparency and ensuring that the progress is in fact measurable.
Thank you, Antonia. Rozana, now you've personally faced several barriers and biases in entering the arbitration world, but at the same time, you have overcome many of them. Could you share with us some examples of such barriers and how you have overcome them?
Thank you, Reshma, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to join you and Antonia today. Well, my journey in alternative dispute resolution began with mediation over 10 years ago, which has led to recognition. However, being known primarily as a mediator can sometimes limit opportunities for arbitration appointments. Now, this was my biggest barrier. So to address this, I made a proactive effort to communicate my interest in arbitration within my network, sought opportunities with arbitral institutions, regularly participated as a speaker at arbitration events, and served as tribunal secretary. I have also pursued the CIR fellowship program in international arbitration and completed my LLM in international dispute resolution, both of which have allowed me to build a stronger foundation and expand my credentials as an arbitrator. These steps have significantly boosted my visibility and have led to an increase in arbitration appointments. Now, I'm not saying I have eliminated this barrier, but I have managed to appear in the arbitration community as an arbitrator as well. And I am proud to have started as a mediator. Mediation today is becoming very, popular in the region. But arbitration has been a struggle for me. I must also add that I'm fortunate to have a mentor, a woman arbitrator who guides me on this journey and supported me. And this is a huge, a huge thing for me, because mentorship is very important. And this is something I'm going to discuss later on.
Thank you very much, Rozana. That's very impressive. Thank you for sharing. Now, Antonia, following from Rozana's experiences, do you think that there are any continuing systemic barriers in appointing more diverse arbitrators? And why do you think the arbitration community and clients should seek to embrace diversity and overcome their biases in appointing arbitrators? Are there any benefits in doing that?
To your first question, yes, there are systemic issues that persist in appointing diverse arbitrator candidates. And they're not just driven by unconscious bias, of which many of us are now aware, but also by what I would call a conservative approach, which leads to reliance on so-called repeat players, arbitrators with whom counsel or parties are already familiar. Lawyers often recommend arbitrators or experts that they have seen perform personally and that they personally know. And that naturally limits the pool to very established names, which are statistically less diverse. And of course, to address this, we need to become braver and recognize that appointing a diverse candidate without prior personal experience, but on the basis of obviously appropriate research, may well bring its own advantages. And you've asked what those advantages are. Coming to your second question, embracing diversity is, of course, not just morally right. It is strategically beneficial. Diverse panels bring broader perspectives. They reduce groupthink, enhance decision-making. Studies have shown that decisions are improved through diversity. And of course, better outcomes is what arbitration users care about the most. So it is a clear benefit on which we continue to focus.
Thank you, Antonia. Rozana, from your end, what barriers do you still see, and what solutions do you propose in addressing them to support those watching us on a personal level?
I often hear colleagues, and I'm sure you and Antonia have heard this as well, discuss the limited pool of women arbitrators in our region, especially in Saudi Arabia. While visibility and exposure remain real challenges, it's encouraging to see organizations such as the ICC, CIRB, and SEC in Saudi Arabia actively working to foster the inclusion of women in arbitration. It is important to also highlight that Saudi Arabia is home to an impressive pool of young talent who are early in their careers and experience. What they truly need is mentorship and guidance. And I'm speaking here from experience. I mentioned mentorship has helped me tremendously. And I do believe they do need mentorship and guidance on how to effectively market themselves. I believe the more seasoned professionals should step up and offer this essential support, which can give emerging arbitrators the confidence they need to succeed. Now, for women arbitrators, taking initiatives is also vital. Attending major conferences to network and learn from expert speakers, joining webinars and participating in volunteering activities, whether through writing articles or advocating for important issues, are all valuable ways to increase visibility and gain experience.
Thank you, Rozana. Thank you very much for sharing that. Now, Antonia, following from Rozana's suggestions just now, do you have any suggestions of your own for tools that the users of arbitration and organizations can employ to continue to ensure the appointment of diverse arbitrators?
Yes, absolutely. And my focus personally for the last couple of years is on party appointments, because that's where we see more changes needed. As I mentioned, the institutions are already extremely advanced with respect to diversity, but the party appointments are still lagging behind. So our focus is on engaging with in-house counsel, with arbitration users, who can make very small but impactful changes in the direction of diversity. So, for example, one highly effective step that in-house counsel can take is to simply request their external lawyers to provide diverse lists of arbitrators, experts, really any third-party suppliers. This small instruction shifts the responsibility to external counsel to think more inclusively, really to broaden the pool of candidates and avoid this limitation of repeat players. I also very briefly wanted to mention a new resource that's recently come out that the Pledge has worked on across the global Pledge membership, and that's a guide for first-time appointments. Please do look it up and let me know if you can't find it. The guide offers very practical tips from Pledge committee members as to how you can get your first arbitral appointment. And that's, of course, not just for female arbitrators, but really anyone seeking their first appointment. And as we know, securing that first appointment is really crucial to demonstrating capability to institutions and to developing reputation, and thereby obviously then widening the diversity. So please do get in touch if you would like to have a look at this guideline or really any other tools that the Pledge has on offer.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Antonia. These are actually very practical tips, and I've experimented with them both, well, as counsel in private practice and in-house, actually. And it's very interesting and it works because as counsel, I've had in-house counsel, so basically the client request for a more diverse list when I was a junior lawyer. And then when I was in-house, I've been the one to request for a wider pool and more diversity on the list that was proposed by external counsel. So a very, very good one that can be actioned upon by those watching us, hopefully. Now, Rozana, you, throughout your career, you've now achieved several leadership positions. For example, you're a member of the ICC court for KSA. You are the chair of Arbitration and ADR committee for the ICC KSA, as well as a member of the CIARB KSA branch. Now, you are doing a lot to support other women and diverse individuals to achieve their ambitions within the arbitration community. How can arbitration practitioners benefit from these initiatives and in turn get involved?
Well, in our arbitration committee, we've made achieving diversity a priority, not only in terms of gender, but also regional representation and expertise. So I'm proud to share that women make up half of our committee, representing the central, western, and eastern provinces of Saudi Arabia. So beyond the committee membership, we're committed to advancing the visibility and growth of women in arbitration, including supporting young talent through training programs that we offer, and as well as events that are organized by ICC Saudi Arabia. We help prepare emerging professionals for future nominations as arbitrators. So these ongoing initiatives contribute to a more inclusive and dynamic arbitration landscape in Saudi.
Thank you, Rozana. That sounds very interesting and excellent. Now, well, thank you very much to both of you. And to close the discussion now, I would like to address the title of the topic itself. So, Antonia, do you think that arbitration is ready to embrace diversity and overcome bias?
Thank you. Yes, I think the answer is yes, it is ready, and yes, we're going in the right direction. Certainly, arbitral institutions have made all the right steps, and are continuing to do so. You could see in the recent ICC statistics for 2024, even wider reporting on diversity criteria, which of course helps with understanding exactly where further advances can be made. As mentioned, my focus is on party appointments, and we also need to speak more about our co-arbitrator appointments, which are also still very low. So on these areas, we need to continue pushing ahead and continue speaking about the topic to raise awareness and ensure that those who have the ability to appoint arbitrators are aware of the benefits and why diversity is important. But yes, I believe we're on the right path.
Thank you. Well, it's great to hear that we are going in a positive direction. Rozana, same question to you. Do you think that arbitration is ready to embrace diversity and overcome bias?
Well, I believe that arbitration is increasingly making progress towards embracing diversity, thanks to the proactive efforts of leading institutions. Now, these organizations are actively nominating a wider range of diverse arbitrators, reflecting different genders, regions, and expertise levels. While significant progress has been made, the journey towards full inclusivity continues, requiring ongoing commitment from all stakeholders in the arbitration community. So as Antonia just mentioned, we need to continue on raising more awareness, specifically in the region.
Well, thank you very much, Rozana and Antonia, for this insightful discussion. We would also like to thank our partner organization, the ERA Pledge, and the AAA ICDR Asia office for their invaluable support. For those joining us live, we will now move to a 15-minute question and answer session. Please use the link in the chat box to join us on a separate Zoom session, and we'll see you there in a moment. For those of you who are watching us over YouTube, our video ends here. Thank you for joining us. To see future episodes of ARBinBRIEF on handpicked arbitration issues, please follow us on LinkedIn and like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We would love to hear your comments and feedback, and you can register for our next episode on www.arbinbrief.com or from our LinkedIn page. We look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.